analyze the P&L from the various perspectives. So the P&L analysis can be done in two ways. One is called horizontal and variance analysis. Okay, means comparing the variance with your budget, with your previous years, or any other benchmarks. Then you have something called vertical analysis. Vertical analysis will bring the P&L into a common size so that you can estimate the all the expenses into the percentage. So we're going to be learning that in the future as well. And one finally is called ratio analysis, i.e., like occupancy and ADRs or other type of ratios, which help us to make sense of the different figures. Then we also have in other aids in the revenue and expense analysis, which can be considered as market segment, booking source, nationality, lead period, pace, competition reports, menu engineering reports, expense details. So these are the different measures that we use normally in the P&L analysis. Let's look at it in a bit more details now. So the horizontal analysis means we compare the two periods. So we need a comparative P&L. It can be two periods. It can be compared to the budget, can be compared to the forecast, or can be compared to any other benchmark that you want to use, and it shows the absolute change in dollars or in your currency, whatever currency you may be using, and a percentage change between the two periods or two benchmarks. So it will tell you two different things. One is the absolute change and as a percentage. However, horizontal analysis are not concrete analysis. It not always has to be combined with the ratio analysis or with a vertical analysis. This is one example where we can see the difference between actual budget. So in the variance column, you have the variance compared to the budget in the dollar terms and also in percentage. So the horizontal analysis will help us to identify the key problem areas. For example, here the room revenue is dropping compared to budget by 36%. However, food and beverage revenue has dropped compared to the budget by 48%. So even if the room is dropping by 44 million, which is quite high compared to the food and beverage, but food and beverage is dropping faster than the rooms division, which is a concern. So it helps us to identify where we need to focus, but it doesn't still give you any kind of answers or any kind of other indications in how to analyze the P&L. The other way was the vertical analysis, often commons referred to as a common size statement. It calculating the percentage of annual revenue, individual revenue to the total revenue, and then expenses are also analyzed as a reference to the total revenue. So here is an example. This column will be considered as common size, where everything is translated into the 100% of the revenue. Here you can see again the way of the analyzing is different. Same thing again. We are trying to analyze here in a different perspective. We are comparing as a contribution. Now, the contribution of room revenue is 59% compared to 100%, which is previous year was 54 and 37%. So in this case, we can see that the even though the room department is dropping, but their overall contribution to the total revenue is still far better than the previous year because of the drop in contribution from food and beverage. So food and beverage is some of the really big problem here because of the two ways. One of is dropping faster, and their contribution to the total revenue is also dropping. So this helps to us to zero in the focus areas where we are going to focus upon our analysis on. So in this our example, we will focus on room and food and beverage first because those are the two important matrices that we need to focus upon. If we are able to fix that, we are able to cover 80-90% of our revenues, which is so we are able to focus and our energies towards what is more important rather than going into other departments or other operating departments, which may take similar time but may not yield a very high returns. Focusing on room and food and beverage will give us a better returns. So that's how we do the overall P&L analysis. In the future slides, we're going to be looking at more details of individual line items of the P&L.